What exactly are we doing here in the mountains?
So not going pedal boating here at the lake, that much I know.
Exactly, but we're aiming for something different. We want to ride a North Star, right?
A bright North Star.
From now on, you can not only place an order for the new Polestar 3, but you can also take it for a test drive in the Polestar spaces and at various special events that are being held. And we want to take this wonderful opportunity to go on the very first drive ever in the brand new Polestar 3 with you. We'll give you some really interesting info on the price, about a special offer that's available until November 15th, effective this year. And we've also got the very first super attractive leasing offer for this particular vehicle all prepared for you to see right here in this video. For all those who may not have seen our video from the Polestar space in Hamburg, where we gave you a detailed presentation of the car from the outside and the inside, let's quickly go around the car and inside at the beginning to give you the essential facts about the Polestar 3. However, the most essential part of this video is the second part, where we drive with you on winding roads and take a relaxing cruise over the scenic country roads. We want to do the launch check. We have the dual motor with 360 kilowatt system power on board. And of course, we want to hit top speed on the highway and thoroughly test the pilot system to see how well it manages the high-speed conditions. Before we get started, could you please check if you're part of the einfach elektrisch community? If not, we would appreciate it if you support us with a subscription, and if you ring the bell, you won't miss the consumption drive and the charging check with the Polestar 3 in a few weeks. Let's start with the new electric SUV, and as always, we'll begin from the outside, start from the front, and take a look at the front of the Polestar 3. We are thrilled, especially here in this beautiful black metallic finish, which might actually be one of your all-time favorite colors as well. It really makes for a wonderfully nice compact vehicle. Impression of a 4.90 meter SUV. It's not as wide, not as bulky, not as tall as other electric SUVs we've shown you, but paired with the latest technology, especially with the smart zone here, where all the sensors, radar systems, cameras, and ultrasonic sensors are fully integrated together to offer full and comprehensive support in the advanced pilot system. Later on, there will also be the pilot system with a ladder, where you can experience even higher levels of semi-autonomous driving. The highlight then would be the HD pixel LED headlights with 1.3 million pixels. I would recommend those if you drive a lot in the dark and over long distances, as they offer the best possible illumination. And here, this Thor's hammer, or what is this? Am I a tomahawk? Yeah, because Michael had something like a tomahawk steak, and that's the bone. That's also a nice design, right? It goes from flat to bombastic. The Polestar is kind of a Nordic vehicle that really does seem to make quite an impression, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, he's also into big nice kicks, right?
Exactly. We have a 22-inch 265/40 R21 and not those overly aerodynamically optimized tires, because I honestly think an electric car can look really good and stylish too, right? Absolutely. Paired with a beautiful Brembo braking system, you can see it very, very nicely here on these yellow gold brake calipers. This is really chic because we have the 360 kilowatt-hour version. 111 kilowatt hours is the gross capacity, from which you can draw 107 kilowatt hours net. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Here we have almost an all-black version.
Yeah.
Such a vicious beast, one might almost say, if it didn't have just a tiny bit of metallic accents down here. What I find really cool, by the way, are these frameless exterior mirrors. We know them from the Polestar 2. Here they look very, very nice again on an arm which also has a 360-degree camera system installed. With privacy glass, this vehicle would be a real black beast, wouldn't it? Just imagine how sleek it would appear.
Black Beauty, right?
Black Beauty, of course, that's a matter of taste, and you decide. We're just showing you the exterior design. We have a really nice aerodynamically optimized rear spoiler that improves performance and looks. So, a nice fry stand where you could theoretically maybe eat a burger at mouth level if you're as tall as I am, 1.85 meters. What we don't have, Stefan, see?
We lack any Eiffel locksmiths, I'm delighted.
That means Polestar can really do it, yes. Successfully integrating the technology into the windows, the mirrors, and the bodywork. What I've always liked a lot is this nice, subtle, narrower LED lighting signature that enhances the vehicle's visual appeal. Up here again with these fins. It looks really, really impressive and striking. We also have these suggested air vents because it's a high-performance car and needs good aerodynamics. We know this, for instance, from the Lotus Electra too. Then also aerodynamically functional. And you see, we don't have, if you lower the camera a bit, Stefan, a bristly rear diffuser that looks aggressive. No.
It's still pretty clean, actually.
That is a nice, smart, smooth, clean design. And I have to say, personally, I like it extremely well. I'm really curious to see what you all think. Please write it in the comments below. Let's talk a bit about the dimension. It's only 4.90 meters long, but due to its flat shape, it's 1.61 meters high. It appears much longer than it actually is. And with that, we are clearly under 5 meters. The wheelbase is 2.98 meters. We have 1.96 meters in width with exterior mirrors, 2.12 meters, so 2 centimeters too wide for the highway. Left lane. Then if you, for example, want to use it, that should actually not work with 2.12 meters anymore.
Too tight.
Exactly. What we have on board is 2.6 tons of empty weight. This is, of course, due to this huge, thick, fat battery pack with 111 kilowatt hours. But on the other hand, it naturally ensures that you have a corresponding range, because you obviously like to drive at a brisk pace on the highway, even with a Polestar 3. Might end up at about 20 to 25 kilowatt hours, and with 107 kilowatt hours net, that's, according to Adam Rees, about 400 kilometers of range.
It's possible, yes.
When the battery is full, yes, it's charged here on the driver's side back left. 3-phase AC at 11 kilowatts, I don't quite get it, because most Geely vehicles and Polestar, which is affiliated with Geely, can actually also do 22 kilowatts. Like for instance the smart #1, #3,
Yeah.
or even the Polestar 4, it's supposed to be available as an option in a Plus package. Here we only ever have 3-phase 11 kilowatts. I find that unfortunate because we need at least 10.5 hours to go from empty to full. And the typical commuter charging their battery overnight, if they come home late and leave early, wouldn't fully recharge the battery pack.
No, 22 kilowatts would be suitable.
For that, we have the option with DC to charge this battery pack with up to $250 kilodollars of peak power, which means it should take around 30 minutes to charge from 10 to 80%, providing a very efficient and swift charging experience for users. That will be in a second video, following in a few weeks when we have it as a test car, to be proven in the consumption drive with charging check. We are always highly critical about this. The Polestar 3 will be available in the future in 3 different configurations and specifications. Once as a pure rear-wheel drive, then with 220 kilowatts or about 299 horsepower, delivering a solid 490 newton meters of torque for impressive performance, punch on the rear axle, and is supposed to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7,8 seconds. It will probably be available in the spring of 2025, so we need to be patient for another good half a year, which isn't too long to wait. But apparently it is already available for order and starts at around 78,000 euros here in Germany, which is quite reasonable given the features and quality you get. Yes, for those who need more power, there's the dual motor, meaning an additional electric motor on the front axle. 360 kilovolt, 489 HP, and that ensures that we have over 800 Newton meters of torque. I believe it is exactly 840 Newton meters. And so it accelerates from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. Of course, we would measure that with GPS later with our test subject. If that's still not enough, Stefan will get the performance package. Exactly. Then you have 380 kW instead of 360 kW, 517 HP system power, and accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.7 seconds. And you have 910 Newton meters of torque. Dual motor starts with us at 85,990 euros. I have to read it today, unfortunately, and the performance package is then at 92,990 euros. But it will probably take until November 15th for the dual motor and the dual motor with performance package again. Give a starting price for the launch edition, which has a few special specifications and where you can even get it delivered as early as November or December. So you can definitely put a Polestar 3 under a Christmas tree if you want to and have the money for it, of course. So there is apparently 4,000 for the cash buyer, an introductory discount again, and alternatively, there is also a leasing offer where the Polestar 3 is then apparently at 899 euros per month. Can start with a 48-month term and 10,000 kilometers, but you can configure and customize it yourself to suit your specific needs and preferences. Please check the Polestar website. Everything you need is online to help you progress and stay well informed on all aspects to suit your needs. The single motor only goes top speed 180, right?
Yeah, 200 if that's cool with you.
For that, the dual motor 210 comes into play. We'll also test that with you later when the highway is clear. But the performance, it doesn't sip more, so it only goes 210 tops. It's actually quite a shame, because here you can really drive at top speed on quite a few different roads. It has a big battery. 230 would have been nice too, right? Yes.
Actually, a pity? Squandered potential.
Yes, let's take a closer look under the front hood. Of course, there are always hood fans included in this particular price range. What really surprises me is that there is absolutely no insulation here, even though we have climate control situated up front and a front motor driving the front axle. That surprised me a little. Because the Polestar 4 has it. Instead, it has this nice foldable compartment here, which the Polestar 4 does not have. By the way, on the 20th of September, our first drive in the Polestar 4 will be coming up. We can tease that already. And here we have a nice big storage compartment where you can quite easily put proper charging equipment into. Valuable, Stefan, but why?
Yes, then the cable won't get dirty if you throw it in the back.
Exactly, and you don't have to mix it with your luggage, especially when it rains or something. It can get really wet or you drag it through the dirty street. You don't want to mix that up somehow. Some of you also have hobbies like jogging or paddling or, I don't know, diving, and then they can easily pack their flippers or even their swim sandals, you know. A front trunk is quite practical.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder that some still say, don't need it.
Sure.
Well, let's see how the hood closes. Give me a countdown. 3,
2, 1, go.
Full on the first try. More exciting than the frunk is the trunk. It opens down here, making it practical for all your loading needs. Here is a button that opens it up electrically. And you can already see from the lines and contours that everything here is designed for maximum possible storage space. Yes, we have a nice parcel shelf that slides back here along a rail. And otherwise, everything here is once more lined with the highest quality carpet you can possibly find. Here you have 484 liters of storage capacity, and you have the possibility, which is important if you might want to go skiing in winter, to have a suitable pass-through option, or even for a trip to the hardware store. Then for a long item. Yes, everything nicely lined with carpet, plus here you have a double loading floor that you can easily lift up, providing you with a lot of additional storage space underneath for various items. You could probably fit a good-sized travel bag in there as well, so the 484 liters would likely then can expand once more. And down there is yet another compartment where you might possibly store some additional charging stuff specifically for those long vacation adapters you might need. Yes, tie-down hooks, and we do have a 3-chamber air suspension in the Polestar 3. That means you can set it to 3 different levels, and there's also a conveniently placed button here to lower the rear end accordingly. That's really important, especially if the ladies aren't getting any help with heavy boxes or suitcases, to adjust the vehicle's level right at the rear, making loading and unloading a lot easier. Can adjust accordingly. Yes, Stefan, if 484 liters are not enough, what can one do?
The rear seats fold down.
Exactly. That means we have 40% on the driver's side. And then we also have 60% on the passenger's side, so we get from a total of 484 liters to an impressive 1,411 liters. That should definitely be enough for a large item. Here you can see when 2 55-centimeter carry-on suitcases plus our personal item big camera backpack are in the trunk, there's still ample space left for other items you may need to take. How it visually appears. Yeah, what's going on electrically right now, Stefan?
Closes electrically.
What a wonder. It also works with Polestar. Very, very nice and soft. And then closing it softly again, I think that's really great. You also have the option to mount up to 100 kilograms of roof load, which is perfect for carrying additional equipment or gear. That means for the friends of conversation, for the sophisticated roof box transport fun, we have the option to mount such a roof box, which is sometimes interesting, maybe even for skis when traveling with 4 people to get everything on the roof or just additional luggage. Optionally, there's a trailer hitch, which is already very nice, and I think many will be really excited because unbraked 750 kilos is the standard and braked 2.2 tons. Wow. 2.2 tons for a sports boat, large travel trailer, or some construction machinery you might want to drive to a site because you also want to use the car for partial business purposes. So, there are plenty of options. And for fans of the sophisticated rear bike carrier, the Pedelec Sports has 100 kilograms of drawbar load, so probably even 4 Pedelecs with corresponding weight, and the rear bike carrier should fit the hitch load capacity. I mean, it really can't get any more than this, right? Nah.
Almost perfectly content.
Here you can see how it visually appears when 2 55-centimeter carry-on suitcases, along with our personal item, which is a large camera backpack, are placed in the trunk and how it all fits together nicely. What rises electrically, Stefan?
Closes electrically.
What a wonder, it also works with Polestar. Very, very nice and smooth. Then to close it with a soft close, which I find great. Additionally, you can carry up to 100 kilograms on the roof, providing useful storage for longer trips or additional equipment. That means For the friends of conversation, the well-maintained roof box transport fun, we definitely have the convenient option to mount such a practical roof box on the vehicle. Sometimes it's useful for skis when traveling with 4 people to fit it all on the roof or carry extra luggage. An optional tow bar is available.
That's already very nice.
And that, I believe, will really excite many because unbraked 750 kilos, the standard, and braked 2.2 tons. Wow, 2.2 tons for a sports boat, a large caravan, or construction machinery you might want to drive to a construction site for partial commercial use. So, there are a lot of possibilities. And for fans of the proper bike rear carrier, Pedelec sports 100 kilogram support load, so probably 4 Pedelecs with corresponding weight, and the bike rear carrier should fit on the tow bar's support load. Well, hardly more possible, is there? No.
Almost a lucky shot.
We want to move with you from the outside to the inside. We are done with the exterior. Here, we installed double glazed windows, 2 panes connected by a film. So double glazing? That's really great. We'll measure the interior noise level later to see if it truly has any positive effect on reducing sound. Yes, here in the door interior, we have, I think, a very tidy and balanced mix of various materials that are well selected. Up here, there's a nice fabric on soft plastic with a very subtly hinted seam. Here we have sort of a fabric-ish material. Then we have ambient lighting here. We've installed the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system, and we really want to test it together with you. We have this nice fabric here. It almost feels like a type of neoprene fabric. Its texture is really distinctive and feels quite premium. Down here it is softly padded and lined with a rubber mat to ensure nothing rattles or clatters around while driving. Also nice and big, so a large bottle fits in. So that's Nordic chic, Nordic elegance. And so I envision a really high quality and well-crafted door panel in the year 2024. A warm welcome to the dashboard area. It's nicely padded again with the soft material. On top, the center speaker from Bauer & Wilkins. We have a huge head-up display that projects onto the windshield, so we won't be distracted from the traffic. And we have a nice large multifunction steering wheel with a display integrated into the steering column where you can adjust settings via buttons. This setup provides easy access to essential controls, allowing for efficient management while keeping your focus on the road. It moves up and down with it. You can also adjust the steering wheel in and out and its height. That's a great story to hear. But as you can see, we have this specific push haptic button combination here where you really have to hit everything precisely for it to work properly and smoothly. And as you step to the side, you can see that it just works to a limited extent when viewed from a different angle. I find that to be suboptimal, so I actually still like tactile buttons. That is an advantage and not a disadvantage. I think it is worth considering if we should go back to that. Yes, indicator lever, wiper adjustment, then we have the gear selector, and here we have a 15-inch vertical display. I'm really curious to see how you evaluate this because, for example, the Polestar 4 has a horizontal display. I also asked during the presentation why it's vertical here. They answered me, well, yes, it can only be done on site. Why is that? Because maybe the car is built on the same platform as the Volvo X90. A knave who thinks evil. He also has that vertical display. Yes, I actually like it when you can rotate it like with BYD.
Yeah, that really would have been very cool.
This vehicle comes equipped with the impressive Google Automotive System, which I find to be extremely well designed, featuring fast processors that really allow you to quickly and efficiently. Very nice also being able to use the entire system, which is smoothly done, and everything in the settings, especially for the vehicle settings, letting you tailor the configurations to your needs and preferences. Driver assistant charging and sound are easily handled. With the Google Play Store, you can add apps later as needed, keeping your system current and personalized with continuous improvement and customization options. Apple CarPlay will be added later, most likely in the next software update. This will enable its use within the Android system, ensuring that you can enjoy the full range of Apple CarPlay's features and capabilities seamlessly. Voice control Google Assistant is undoubtedly considered one of the best systems around. Yes, an inductive charging pad. You get a key fob and key cards to conveniently access the car, making it simple to unlock and start. Later, it will also be possible with the digital key via your phone. This basically has the NFC chip inside. And at the moment, it's only possible to place the card on it to drive, and you really can't, unfortunately, inductively charge your phone, so to speak. I didn't quite get it either, but that's just how it is. Volume control, play and stop for the music. 2 cup holders, that's nice. Noise meter for inside. There's also the GPS antenna from Draghi. And then we have the possibility to store things accordingly. By the way, Stefan, you can very nicely close this compartment with a roller shutter. The only thing I don't quite like is that we have this piano lacquer finish here, which is very...
Prone to dents and to dust. Well, as always, unfortunately.
And of course also for scratches. I've heard that in the Pulse model this issue is resolved in a bit of a nicer way. Large, deep compartment, so it goes down deep. I think you could almost fit a 1.5 litre bottle in there. Below with a gundimi, nicely lined with felt. And over here again there is a neoprene fabric, softly padded, so that we can ergonomically adjust the seat to the best possible position for our comfort. We have on board here, let me show you in a moment, the finest Napa leather. A look through the passenger door reveals the exclusive Napa leather package. As expected, you naturally get fabric seats, you also get vegan, animal-free leather. Now you're getting wool, so for the friends of classy wool sports, we've already shown this in the BMW i7, you're also catered for here. Here we also have the seat extension again. This means we have a very nice long thigh support. Good thigh support here. It spreads out nicely over here too, providing extra comfort. This seat is truly top-notch. I can already tell you that right away. Nice support here in the lumbar area. Shoulder pads, then the integrated headrest, all perforated. Why? Because if you opt for the Napa leather package, which certainly comes at an additional cost, special Scottish leather is used here from specially raised livestock, so that it proceeds harmoniously with the animals. That's how it was explained to me. I even asked again for you guys, because many of you now also like vegan interiors. There you really get the creme de la creme. It feels good. And you always have the seat ventilation. And you also always have the seat massage. So for those who also want comfort, of course, the Napa leather package is the most premium option. Yes, we have a beautiful floating center console here with a large compartment where the lady can store her handbag or the gentleman his pouch. Here's another compartment where you can stash something. For example, a smartphone, 2 USB-C ports. I think it's all really well done. And then we have a nice glove box that opens with a button and is lined with fine felt, adding a touch of luxury and sophistication to the cabin's overall ambiance. Down here also covered with this faux leather. So I think it's also very high-end and luxurious. Yes, last but not least, we have up here, Stefan, please take a look, an enormous, huge panoramic glass roof that spans across the entire width of the car. Yeah, but no blinds? That's just not possible. There's no way to adjust it because we're already having issues with the sun glaring in constantly. 81 degrees. The sun is blazing down hard here. I feel like I have a red-hot stovetop sitting right on my head, and my skull feels like it's literally burning up.
I really think so.
And quite frankly, I just don't like that. Dear car manufacturers, please put a sunshade in there, add some kind of adjustment, because that's genuinely and truly suboptimal. Especially in the peak of summer, I find this extremely annoying, and so do the majority of passionate fans of electric SUV sports. They also love a panoramic sliding glass roof that opens.
Oh yeah, that's very nice.
And I've missed that too. By the way, what is also quite nice is this wood decor here. It looks pretty chic, like an anthracite. Yes, but I really think that a sporty version with a bit of carbon or aluminum would fit quite well too. But that's maybe optional, right? Yes. What is definitely included is that there's a bit softer padding here, so it doesn't make any noise or rattle.
That's also quite nice indeed.
So Polestar is really good at that, right?
Yes, they do it well.
Look.
Yeah.
There are all these little cushions in here. See how it sparkles, how it glitters. So this mineral component, I usually only know that from Aston Martin with the paints.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Yes, the door handles are slightly recessed here, and we have the coupe-like shape sloping behind the head. So I hope that with my 1.85 m height and 99.9 kilograms, I can sit comfortably here with enough space for both short commutes and longer trips. Back here in the rear seat, I have plenty of space. You can see I still have a fist's distance to the front passenger seat, which is adjusted to the B-pillar. And even my driver's seat, which is positioned all the way back and down, offers plenty of space here, as you can see. We usually don't see that for the passengers in the back. This means you can really travel very comfortably here with 4 people, or even with 2 adult children, which is quite convenient. Yes, the center armrest is also covered with the finest perforated Napa leather. We have the drawer here again to extend the cup holders. That is also done very well, soft and cushioned. I have fantastic ergonomics here. Yes, fans of refined child ISOFIX sports will also find the possibility to attach 2 child ISOFIX seats behind 2 plastic caps for both the driver and the passenger, and that should also be sufficient in terms of spacing that you can use. Yes, the backrest, it's made of some kind of plastic, but very high quality. I think it's very well done, so no hard plastic. Then here again with such a bag, that I think is all done properly. We have 2 USB-C ports. We have the 3-zone climate control here in the back, which can also be controlled through the menu here. We have 3-level seat heating available in the driver and passenger seats. And we have some air vents installed. But honestly, Stefan, what am I still missing here? I'm really curious to know.
A 4-zone?
No, remember the Polestar 4. There are also air vents in the B-pillar specifically for the comfort of rear passengers. Because that's important if you might want to have a dog here someday. That's just a disc vent to keep the discs clear.
Exactly, that confused me.
But you can't really adjust them to be ventilated, and for me that's definitely what I miss about them. But I do have plenty of headroom here. So that's all great. But Polestar, I would really like to have 2 adjustable air vents in the B-pillar, just like in the Polestar 4. That you stay well heated and well air conditioned here in winter. Also look, Stefan, everything's soft with this neoprene material again. And look here.
Nothing rattles.
I think that's how you truly achieve a premium interior. And of course, the door panel has been carried over seamlessly from the front all the way to the back. So, thumbs up for that. Now we only need a few more additional small things, like some cushions and such. And I created one of the finest interiors, which we were able to showcase in 2024. Outside we showed you everything, inside we showed you everything. Let's get in. Now it's time for the big driving report. However, first I still have to show you one highlight. We have soft close on board. It's truly premium, so you no longer need to slam the door, providing a more elegant experience. Stefan, come in. We're starting the driving report now. The Polestar 3 boasts a turning circle of 11.8 meters, which is commendable. I always say anything under 12 with such large SUVs at 4.9 meters too. Alright, because we also want to drive it in an urban environment, but unfortunately it doesn't have rear axle steering. That way, you might have been able to reduce the turning circle by around an additional meter or so. Many of you use a Polestar 3 in an urban environment. There, it's important to get some assistance, maybe when parking, to ensure you can navigate through the tight and challenging spaces found in cities. There we have support from the camera system, where we also have a guiding line for the trailer hitch, or what is that in the middle?
Yeah, probably, right? Center, yeah.
And also have a really nice and clear resolution so you can more easily and accurately park here accordingly. You also have the option to let the car be shown to you here in 360 degrees. It's important for many of you to avoid scratching those sleek 22-inch or I believe even 23-inch wheels that come with the performance package, isn't it? I mean, you don't want any damage to those, do you? That might make sense then, though I'm not sure. Are there even 23 inches?
There would certainly be room.
Right, so at the latest in the aftermarket, it's probably quite possible to do that. Yes, otherwise, when we switch to drive, we also have a bird's eye view, which allows us to see everything very clearly and comprehensively. Very comfortably park out again with guidelines. Many of you don't know where the car steers when the steering wheel is fully turned. And of course, you also get maximum support here in the Polestar 3 through the advanced camera system for effective parking assistance. What can sometimes be very good is a vertical display when you let yourself be navigated in advance. Like here, when we've driven through the curve, because then, when you drive straight, you always have a good overview of the route. We want to take you on a fun drive with the powerful 360 kilowatts here through some nice winding roads to thoroughly test the suspension and the 3-chamber air suspension system. Also give it a try. Yes, there you have the option to go here in the menu, then switch to performance so that you really have 360 kilowatts. We have taken the suspension feel into account because of course we need it to be firm on the winding roads. We left one pedal driving activated so we can nicely use the electric pedal to, well, then accordingly recuperate. So in that sense, I think we don't have a bad attitude regarding performance. Found and air suspension is of course extremely comfortable. Absolutely true indeed. That means when you have it set to standard, it's really nice and soft, nice and smooth. You don't feel any manhole covers like you do now. Instead, it just rolls and absorbs them properly. Yes.
Very good, he's doing well.
Polestar has really designed an extremely sporty and agile air suspension because what I didn't know before, it actually shares the gravity characteristics in a similar way to the Polestar 1.
Okay.
Thanks to the large battery pack and the low center of gravity. And we definitely want to test that out here with you in a semi-performant way. We want to take you on a nice high-performance ride through a serpentine curve to thoroughly test the vehicle's handling. And of course, the Polestar 3 sticks to the road, allowing us to truly accelerate as we push it to its limits on these challenging curves. But of course, we also have a lot of tourist traffic here. 60 kilometers per hour is allowed here, but the Polestar 3 could go much faster. Yes, the 3.0 air suspension system. It's optimally designed specifically for this vehicle. We have almost no wobble or tilt motion here. Therefore, if I decide to drive in a zigzag pattern, the car stays perfectly level and stable, providing a smooth ride. They did an excellent job balancing it. Everything is geared towards performance here, because as soon as I touch the gas pedal, it has the 840 Newton meters in performance mode and pushes forward immediately. So this is really brilliantly done. I highly recommend you go to the events or into the spaces and take the chance to try out the car for yourself. You definitely won't regret it. This is not some kind of SUV rocking horse like some manufacturers make for the refined senior sport on a mountain pass, but this is really...
It grips the entire road really quite securely, yeah.
Exactly. You can really have some great fun there, and you can really let the car fly. And actually, I'd love to try an SUV, much like back when I drove the Taycan 4 Cross Turismo. Maybe you've seen that video, also in Oschersleben. Try it out on a racetrack sometime.
I think it's going to stick nicely.
The Polestar 3 is really nicely responsive on the gas pedal, and we can also drive this hairpin rather briskly, still within the legal bounds of traffic regulations. It stays in lane extremely well, and there are absolutely no problems whatsoever when it comes to staying precisely within the lane. Even when it's a bit slippery due to moisture, it grips nicely. It's fun to show off a car's performance on a road like this. The handling and control make the driving experience exciting and satisfying, showcasing the car's engineering prowess. We want to measure the interior noise levels in the Polestar 3 while driving at 50 kilometers per hour. 58-59 decibels. Now we are going to accelerate to 70 kilometers per hour. 61-62 decibels, and we accelerate through to 100 kilometers per hour. 66-68 decibels, those are very, very good values, and that also speaks of truly excellent insulation. It feels quite similar to forcefully slamming a door shut without any sort of soft closing mechanism to cushion the impact. Although we have relatively rough asphalt here, which certainly contributes once again to the interior noise, yes.
Somewhat quite true.
So, therefore, I believe it is at a very, very well-damped level, just like premium vehicles are today. We are on our special track, Have the Draggy. Stefan is showing it to you here, started, and now we'll proceed with the first launch to see what the car can really do. But this time without the ESP off. Stefan, could you please give us a countdown?
3, 2, 1, let's get started now.
There he shoots the 2.6 tons, reaching speeds of 50, 70, and we're up to 100, conducting the Brembo brake test, and then eventually he comes to a complete and full stop. Whoa, that was truly amazing and awesome, wasn't it?
That was good, yeah.
0 to 100 in 4.91 seconds. That's actually better than the factory specification of 5 seconds. 0 to 60 in 2.67 and 0 to 50 in 2.21. Well, I'd say let's make a U-turn now, because if it's good in one direction, it's probably just as good in the other direction. The other one should work as well, and let's turn on the ESP, shall we?
Sure.
Because I can very well imagine that it might honestly even get around 0.1 seconds heavier, and because some people, I also read in the comments, then started wondering just how much exactly I actually weigh. It's not a trade secret at all. 99.9 kilograms. Stefan weighs a solid 80 kilos. Then we have our two trolleys, each weighing 8 kilos, plus the camera bag at 3 kilos, plus the nearly 2.6 tons of curb weight here of the Volvo. So from that perspective, I think you can really add that up well, wouldn't you agree? It seems pretty straightforward.
I think so, yes.
So there's no need to speculate. We are back in performance mode, we are in sport mode, ESP off, and in the auto hold function. Stefan, do a countdown, please.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's start moving now.
Then he suddenly shoots forward, 50, 80, and finally 100. At this precise moment, we proceed to do the brake test, slamming really hard into the Brembo brakes with great force. Wow, those are some serious delays, right? Yes. The Brembo brakes really are something special and perform exceptionally well. 0 to 100, but now in 5.18 seconds. That means with ESP off, even 0.2 seconds slower. I heard we measured that differently on another Polestar before. Yes. That was faster. 0 to 60 in 2.79 seconds. 0 to 50 in 2.32 seconds. And look, even 60 to 100 in 2.39 seconds. Those are nearly athletic performance values. That's really great to hear and quite impressive indeed. We will also launch here on the highway and fully accelerate to experience its power. So you see, the Polestar 3, it definitely performs as a dual motor. And if you choose the performance package, you get an additional 70 Newton meters of torque and 20 kilowatts more power. I think it works, Lucia.
It always runs right.
But yeah. We want to accelerate onto the A95 with you here. Right away. But there's a construction site ahead. We recently reset the Draggy device, and now we want to accelerate from 60 to 120 kilometers per hour right here on this particular stretch of road, just to see how it performs. That works very, very well. We're even at 150. We're at 170. You can feel the 360 kilowatts. And it even goes up to over 190 kilometers per hour. Now comes the construction site. We have to slow down accordingly. But Stefan, please just read off the values accordingly for us, okay?
Yes, we have here 80 by 120, 2.9. 60 by
100, 2.34. Those are already some really fantastic values, and after we pass through the construction zone, we will also try again, if the traffic allows it, to go from 100 to 200 kilometers per hour so that you can truly get a good feel of how these 360 kilowatts perform when driving this amazing car. The end of the construction zone is nearing, and we obviously want to take this opportunity to accelerate out of the construction zone together with you and observe the vehicle's impressive and dynamic response as we return to normal driving conditions. Stefan, I think we can start to speed up slowly now. I see the resolution signs, right?
yes.
And there he goes. 80, 100, up to 120, 140, now 150, accelerating quickly to 160, 170, 180 kilometers per hour, not slowing down at all, just pushing harder to go even faster. The highway is thankfully clear. 190 kilometers per hour. He's driving 200 kilometers per hour. Top speed is reached. 210, 212, 213. We like that. 114, Stefan. Check out what Draghi says. 21 kilometers per hour. Just look at the values we get from there.
So, we have 0 to 200. Unfortunately, we can't use that. 100 to 250. 50.59, 80. Up to 120 km/h, 2.92.
Yes, those are nice acceleration values. Even the 15 seconds from 0 to 200 kilometers per hour is actually a decent value. Sure, so a Porsche Taycan Turbo as a super sports car Turbo S is around 7 seconds, half of the previously mentioned acceleration time. But again, we're driving a 4.9 meter electric SUV with a 111 kilowatt battery, $360 kilos, and not 1,000 horsepower. And therefore, I believe this is sufficient for most people. The dynamic package, also known as the performance package, will then offer a bit more punch and power. I think there are probably another 1 or perhaps even 2 additional seconds to possibly shave off when accelerating hard. So you have a sporty SUV that offers agility and precision handling. Combined with the innovative 3-chamber air suspension, it easily meets a wide variety of demands and expectations. You can smoothly glide over the ruts and bumps, just like we are doing here in comfort mode, ensuring a smooth and pleasant ride for all passengers. The 2.9 arcmeters wheelbase also plays its part in this. And of course, we have Stefan's butt dyno on board as well for added feedback. Stefan, what's on the agenda for today?
Honestly, I have to say, the seats are really awesome. I have so many adjustment options. I can adjust the sides a bit. I can move my seat surface back and forth accordingly down here. It's super comfortable. The suspension feels incredibly smooth, but at the same time, you can adjust it to be firm, just like we did earlier in the hairpin turns. I'm super thrilled that it didn't throw me around.
Yes, on board, we naturally have the latest pilot assistance systems. That means distance control cruise, which evidently seems to work very well up to a speed of 180 kilometers per hour without any noticeable issues. Even though this is merely the cruise control at first, no, now it's braking too. It's actually an advanced adaptive cruise control system indeed. I really like it a lot. Additionally, we also have the lane keeping system and the steering assistance included here in this vehicle. That means he's also taking the curve nicely in the middle of the lane on his own. Stefan, I hope you show it too.
Yeah.
Yes, the camera here on the steering wheel. Of course, we always have our hands ready. He slows down nicely for the approaching vehicle, but smoothly and not as jerky as some other cars, enhancing the drive. I have to say I like that, because it actually goes up to 180 kilometers per hour. There are some systems that only go up to 130 kilometers per hour. I wonder how they will ever appeal to German customers on the German market when we have unrestricted driving.
Have free citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody's actually going to voluntarily drive 130, right? Not really.
No.
Well, at least not when the highway is as clear and open as it is right now, and we have enough power in the car's battery to keep going for a good while. Yes, on board we also possess, most probably, the really nice feature of having advanced lane keeping. This is maintained at different levels. At 130 kilometers per hour, it's more active than at 180 kilometers per hour. I can see that right here on the display. And I have to say that's absolutely and undeniably a really nice and convenient feature that stands out. We've already made a video about the Polestar 3 from the Polestar space in Hamburg, and the question arose, is the pilot system enough for semi-autonomous driving, or should you, which is supposed to follow in 2025, unfortunately waiting for the pilot system? To be honest, I can't really answer that question. You have to answer it for yourselves. Feel free to check with Polestar customer service for more detailed information. Because unfortunately, Polestar couldn't tell us today how much the semi-autonomous driving has actually improved because of it. Sure, it'll get better with more systems supporting semi-autonomous driving, enhancing both safety and convenience. And then in the future, when the legislator allows more and more, increasingly more semi-autonomous driving towards fully autonomous driving will become possible. Of course, one also hopes to make the car more future ready with this innovative new approach, adapting to changing trends. So for all those who say, man, I'm really into semi-autonomous driving, I think we're missing out quite a bit there too. Hi.
Yeah.
We like to use this a lot, very intensively, to also report to you about it. But I can't just say today, take it or leave it. Because if we compare it with our American supercar manufacturer, they also have enhanced packages and full self-driving packages since, I think, back in 2017 when it hit the market. Yet there hasn't been any significant improvement in daily operation or everyday use with their autopilot system. And whether or not you ultimately get that paid money back through consistently good performance in the end is essentially a little bit of a small gamble on what the future might hold.
Yeah, nobody really knows how the laws are going to develop here, what the legal situation is, what will be allowed and what won't.
Feel free to write in the comments whether you prefer driving yourself or assisted driving, and share your reasons and experiences. That would genuinely and truly interest me a lot. Let's slowly but surely begin to finally get to the final conclusion with the Polestar 3. I hope we'll get it soon as a test vehicle for you guys, so that we can also add the consumption run with the charging check. Yes, a very agile electric SUV, which you'd prefer driving yourself, especially at the entry level with 200 kilowatts, 299 horsepower rear-wheel drive, coming spring 2025, more for cruising along, but always with enough power and performance, because it also has a good 500 Newton meters of torque. Faster, more performant and sportier is certainly the case here with the dual motor, boasting 360 kilovolts, 489 horsepower, allowing you to accelerate from a standstill to 100 km/h in under 5 seconds and truly feel those 840 Newton meters of torque. If that's not enough, I naturally recommend the performance package. It's always a good choice for performance enthusiasts in e-mobility, where you'll even have 9 and 10 Newton meters of torque and 380 kilowatts, equivalent to 517 HP in old currency. So power without end. We have driving comfort, I think sportily brilliant through the 3-chamber air suspension, which you can adjust in 3 levels and 3 height levels accordingly. The vehicle height changes from the lowest to the highest level by 60 millimeters, which means you also have the option, for example, when you're driving on uneven terrain or going downhill off-road, to adjust accordingly for better handling and safety, to sufficiently raise the entire vehicle up to an even higher and the most appropriate level whenever needed. Yes, many of you might also be traveling with your children, alongside possibly up to 4 other adults. I think it really offers enough spaciousness and very good support, particularly inside the interior of the vehicle, at least with optional seat heating, and then with the Napa leather package it also includes seat ventilation and seat massage. And it's really awesome being finally adjustable and at the very latest level of technology. Yes. What are the drawbacks, Stefan? Maybe the 484 liters of trunk space, right?
It could have been just a little bit more spacious.
Considering that a Skoda Enyaq indeed offers 580 liters, but we also have a roof load of 100 kilos and a towing capacity of 2.2 tons, so you can opt for that if necessary. A bike carrier for 4 people should definitely be possible too, so it can carry 4 bikes. I think these are all excellent and very practical uses that make this car really shine in everyday life and various situations. Yeah, thank God it's under 5 meters. I think 490 meters is a very nice big SUV size. When it goes over 5 meters, it generally tends to become quite bulky.
Yes, then it gets a bit long.
And that's also the advantage of the Polestar 3, that we have such an appealing, sleek and performance-oriented design. And not some humongous noise machine that scares everyone with how you haul such a massive lump around the country. That doesn't really fit well with electromobility either.
Visually speaking, definitely one of the more disruptive S-lines.
One thing that personally, and it may not concern you, really bothers me a lot is that around here, with the glass sunroof, We have nice warm temperatures again today, but it doesn't have a shade or a way to darken it. Maybe there's something available in the aftermarket, but for a car in this price range, I definitely expect that feature to come standard right from the very start. What Polestar offers are some absolutely great leasing deals. Right now at the start, with I think €899, starting then for 48 months with 10,000 kilometers included. Feel free to check out the Polestar website for more detailed information. And I truly believe with Polestar you can also get a subscription package where absolutely everything is all-inclusive, including insurance. Taxes are not due for the first 10 years with an electric car, but where you have an all-inclusive package with wear and tear, with all the bells and whistles. So feel free to check out the Polestar website, see where you can actually test drive the 3, maybe in the next space. There are quite a few spaces now, and then I'd say feel more than free to write your feedback on this video in the comments section below. And that brings us to the end of today's engaging video. We are now back in the picturesque town of beautiful Bad Tölz at our original starting position with the brand new Polestar 3. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, giving it a thumbs up. Please check again if you're part of the einfach elektrisch community. If not, we'd appreciate your support with a subscription. That way, you'll never miss the latest videos when the bell rings, as well as the consumption drive and charging check of the Polestar 3. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and see you soon, yours Olli. Hey Stefan, I think it's so cool that Polestar has skipped the shark fins here and integrated everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Ja, ist super,
They can
ne?
do it. They all can do it. So why doesn't everyone do it?
Yes.